This is the part of the video where I try to come up with something witty to start the video with, but I have been stuck on this show and this script for over a week, so let's just bypass that, and then I'll try to explain what I've been enjoying about Bloom Into You. This first reaction is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. Bloom Into You is an anime for the fall 2018 anime season produced by Troika. It was directed by Makoto Kaito, and it is based on the original manga by Neo Nakatani. It follows the tale of a young high school first year named Yu as she is coming to terms with what falling in love feels like. She's been a fan of shoujo manga and believed that getting confessed to should feel explosive and warm, like fireworks, only to get confessed to by one of her classmates, and she felt nothing and couldn't properly respond. She ends up leaving the guy hanging until the following school year, where she eventually gets the nerve to respond by seeing one of her upper classmates, Toka, turn down a confession so easily and respectfully. Toka explains that it's easy for her because she too has never felt what she has expected from all of these confessions. Nothing that moved her at all. That is to say, until she met you. So now, Yu has swapped out worrying what to do about a guy who has confessed to her with trying to deal with the senpai who she looks up to, confessing to her instead. It's not a simple matter either, as, like before, she doesn't know how to feel about the whole thing, which brings out a bit of conflict to the potentially budding romance. I've had a difficult time coming up with my thoughts to this series so far, but the bottom line is that I have enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to more, and I'm even tempted to pick up the manga once this season has ended, because history has taught me that the kind of anime endings I hope for rarely happen outside the original material. But Bloom Into You has many things about it that I can clearly see are not aimed towards me as an audience, but I still love it regardless. I feel very much like you in trying to explain my feelings on this show, because there's a part of me that thinks that there is a very easy way to explain my thoughts. Say exactly what I want to say, but the words just aren't there. When we met Yu, she was trying to figure out how to deal with being confessed to, and she did not feel those feelings of love and excitement that she expected. It's easy to say from an outsider's perspective that she should have just turned down the guy from the start. Rip that band-aid away as soon as possible, and then we've solved the problem, right? No, but she just can't quite get there. She doesn't feel like it's the right or obvious way to go about it, and she's kind of trapped in this circle. My feelings on the show are the same. There's a part of me that just wants to be like, well, just tell everybody what you like about the show. It's really not all that difficult. See, let me do it for you. Bloom Into You is a heartwarming... And then I cut him right off, because while there are heartwarming moments, Bloom Into You is not what I would call a feel-good romance. It is what I might call a relatable romance, at least so far. It's that second part of me that is not confident I have found the right words to explain this. The budding relationship between Yu and Toko is not clear-cut. They don't fall madly in love at the get-go, nor does the story drag on this strong friendship with the chance that it'll turn romantic by the end of the show like so many others. Toko makes her feelings fairly clear from the beginning. She's not extremely blunt with it, but she's not hemming and hawing about her feelings either. Yu, on the other hand, is not sure of herself at all. The show is really, really good at focusing on the isolation that Yu feels from her friends, from Toko at times. It's an isolation that she doesn't know how to deal with. It's weird because I am getting hints that Yu is completely ace as far as romance goes, but there are times where the show counteracts that with either her actions or how particular scenes are composed. So either I'm reading into that wrong, or there's just a little bit of a disconnect there that will make more sense, maybe, as the show continues. The things I find I have been looking forward to in anime lately, and the romance genre specifically, is something different. I can enjoy a typical will they won't they romantic adventure through the lives of two young protagonists, but getting something that does things differently, and in this case, somewhat relatable, has enraptured my attention. I don't say that Bloom Into You is relatable for me, because I also find myself to be a possibly asexual high school girl in search of love, but I do remember my preconceptions about love at that age, and seeing a character tackle that has been a highlight for me. Because ultimately, in my life and experience, I've always felt that the more fantastical or cliche tropes of romance is what is supposed to happen, right? And I'm able to see those tropes and where they have existed in my life. Like, I proposed to a girl on the top of a mountain because I thought that it would be romantic as all hell, and it was. But that's the kind of expectations I had for romance, but I also know that it's not always like that. I'd like to think that you don't need constant fireworks in a relationship, and you shouldn't always think that those expectations are healthy. And this may or may not turn out to be the message that Bloom Into You leaves with me. I am intrigued by the relationship between you and Toko because I don't know where it is going to end, or if it'll end in a situation that will leave the both of them happy. But I do feel that them having a fairy tale romantic life just might not be in the cards for them. But this is only my first reaction to the series. Perhaps it'll turn out quite a bit different. Thank you for joining me for this quick discussion. There will be streaming links in the description should you require them, as well as a link and coupon code so you can purchase the original manga of Bloom Into You digitally from our good friends at Boogwalker if that is something that you might be interested in. Let me know down in the comments what you have been following this season, and maybe we might talk about it in a future video if we have not already. A big thank you also to all of my patrons who make these videos possible, and until next time, watch more anime and stay frosty.